Hey, I'm Karai. Like some Viktor content, some middling content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot, and if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor, unless it's banned, then we're playing Orianna. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bali, and that's about it.
Hello friends, welcome back to another Victor 2 Challenger gameplay. We played 3 games today as usual, and today I wanted to show you this Azir matchup with Victor. I think Azir is probably one of the harder matchups for Victor, but I think it's mostly a skill and knowledge matchup. But more specifically, I want to talk about how we're supposed to be trading in this type of matchup. Matchups such as artillery mages like Vel'Koz, Azir, or Xerath, where it's really hard for Viktor to really reach without getting poked back. I'm going to show you a few examples of how I should have played and a few examples of what I should not have done. As usual, I'm going to be showing you most of the laning phase just to guide you through my thought process in this lane. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of content. So the first objective here is definitely to push for level 2. You can see here once I'm hitting level 2, I am walking up aggressively just to go in for a trade here. Unfortunately, I missed my E there. Regardless, I'm pushing in for two other reasons. One, if the enemy chooses to trade against me with his Sand Soldiers, I have a trading advantage since my minions will attack him if he chooses to attack me with his soldiers. 2, I have easier access to help my jungler if he does need my help. In the case where the Azir ignores my mid push, I can simply push in the minions into his turret, thus denying him EXP and giving me a level lead. Keep in mind that that is a very simplified version, but that's basically the gist of why I'm trying to push here. Alright, notice how I'm already getting outpoked by the Azir. I'm already burning one pot while the Azir is still relatively healthy. While I think it's fine pushing in the wave with my cooldowns, I think the most ideal situation here is definitely to use my E on both the minions and the Azir. You will notice a lot of the times in this matchup, I'm using all of my cooldowns on the minions, when realistically, when I have the bigger wave, I should have just walked up to auto attack the minions and use my abilities solely on the Azir. Right here, I want you to pay attention where Azir is and where my laser is hitting. It hits most of the minion wave and Azir. That is a definition of a good E. Even though Azir traded back, it's good enough that I'm already pushing the wave in before he does. You might think it's really a small detail that I'm using my cooldowns on the wave recklessly, but realistically, had I been paying more attention to the way I use my cooldowns, I definitely could have traded better, maybe save a bit more health using my Q as a shield instead of a poke, and definitely win the lane a bit harder. Here, notice how I've already used my E, but somehow I'm still positioning myself to allow the Azir to poke me. This is a bad scenario where I'm only allowing the enemy to hit me without me being able to hit back. Instead, what I should have done after using my E was definitely go to a side of the river and put a ward down so I can be more aggressive while being safe. Notice how I'm playing slightly defensively when Azir is walking up. This is all due to the fact that I didn't put a ward down, and if I had put a ward down, I definitely wouldn't have lost that minion there. Looking back, instead of walking up and down just to get the EXP of that little caster minion there, I definitely should have stayed in Fog of War, put down a ward, and wait for the wave to push into me. Because if Echo was slightly better, he would have ganked me here and I would have died if not burned my flash. And after that, after Azir hit 6, they would have definitely been able to kill me with a Shurima shuffle. Fortunately, I see my Hecarim is around the corner. That means I'm able to put a ward around here without the fear of getting jumped by Echo. But as soon as I say that, I see Echo appear on the bottom side of my map, which is where Hecarim is. I see that Hecarim is fighting the Echo hero, however, notice how the wave is pushing in. I reluctantly tried to help my jungler, but realistically, there's nothing I could really do. I'm low on mana, I don't really have any abilities that can follow up Hecarim, and hence I just go back to lane just to collect the big wave here. Now, I like to imagine scenarios that should happen in higher elo. This is a prime example of how the wave should be, and I should be definitely getting dive had the Hecarim not been around, and if the Echo was slightly better. However, as you can see the jungle gap right here, my Hecarim was able to burn the Azir's flash, relieving some pressure in my lane. After that, all I need to do is push in this wave and the next coming wave just to base and get a lost chapter here. However, notice where the Hecarim is and where I'm going next. I'm definitely trying to position myself to help the Hecarim, but looking back, there's really nothing I could do since I only have enough mana to ult. And I've decided instead of helping the Hecarim here, I'm going to ult the wave so I can get the wave completely pushed in and get a really good recall here. Alright, now that we're back in lane with Lost Chapter, notice how I see Azir trying to do a cheeky recall. I try to stop him with my E and I miss,
But notice because of this, Azir is able to hit me with his WQ, and I wasn't able to do anything about it. What I should have done instead was definitely to walk up to see if the Azir would stop the recall anyways without me shooting my E. Only use my E when I see a 90% chance of hitting my E. That way, at least I'm able to get some damage in without getting completely out-traded or out-poked by him. After seeing him complete the recall, I've decided to push in this already slightly pushed in wave just to deny him this entire cannon wave to get a slight level lead here. Right here, I'm going to show you another example, although I think this is a slightly worse example because I definitely had to use my laser to get the cannon. But because I've used my cooldowns just to get a minion here, Azir has no fear in poking me without me poking back at him. It's not the best example since Victors definitely need those cannon minions. But the point is that once the enemy notices that our abilities are off cooldown, they can just trade against us without having fear of us trading back. Instead, what I should have done was definitely have backed up slightly just to avoid getting poked and only walk up whenever my E is up. You'll notice a lot more of what's happening in this laning phase is just me walking up without having my E back. Sometimes I get lucky E's like these and get to poke him without him poking back. But again, the point is if I don't have my E up and I don't have the range to poke him, I definitely should be backwards and trying to avoid getting poked by him. Fast forward a bit, we've taken down mid turret here, and Azir seems to be in a tricky situation here. Senna tries to catch him out, but Azir burns both flash and ult. This is a crucial piece of information that I definitely should have remembered to make a better play here. I'm going to slow down this clip a bit so I can explain it more in detail, but notice how Azir used his Q to push in the wave. I try to use my E to collect the wave, but after Azir notices that I've used my E, he decides to E in and Q me to get more poke in. But remember, because he has no flash and no ult, I definitely should have just walked up, used my W on top of him, and burned my R just to see if I can get a kill here. Again, I definitely could have talked about this matchup in more detail, but I really want to talk about how trade works because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how trades works and just mindlessly use their abilities in lane. It's a simple concept, but this little simple concept can definitely boost your win rates if you can master this little trading concept here. Before I end the video, let's just look at some team fights. In this specific one, Hecarim decides to engage on the Echo, and we're able to pick him up as well as picking up the Ornn. By trading Senna and Hecarim's life. I think it's not bad because I'm able to get the kills here. In this upcoming fight, I see the Hecarim is already engaging on the Blitzcrank. I'm able to TP in because I figured this is probably a good fight, but I wasn't paying attention to where Azir is. Azir flash and ult, and I tried to flash away from the Azir ult, but unfortunately I'm still pushed back, and the enemy is able to get a clean 1-3 kill in favor of them, and they're able to pick up Baron shortly here. In this upcoming fight, again, we see that the enemy is trying to push in this wave here. They have Baron up. No, they don't have Baron up, but we're just trying to defend this. Dragon is coming up shortly. Notice how the enemy pushed in one wave and they're already retreating without pushing in the upcoming wave. What they should have done was definitely just to escort this wave into our turret, push it in, and then retreat back into the jungle so we won't be able to pull up this upcoming play here. Here, notice how I've swept the floor just to see there's no wards. We pick up the Ornn first because, you know, Ornn is a tank. He's annoying. I have to get through him without getting the backline. Azir tries to do a flash Shurima shuffle again, but this time I'm able to flash away safely, and this time Azir is definitely dead. We get a really good fight here. Kel dies here, but we are able to trade her life back with Blitzcrank. And even though we're able to get the better team fight in this case, we can't really walk into the river without our tanks. Luckily, Senna's ability is broken. We're able to go in slightly. Hecarim is coming back from base, so we may be able to get this dragon here. But again, I like to remind you guys, Echo here is really fed, so I have to be careful by not getting one shot by him. Echo does unfortunately get the Mountain Soul here. It's not a big deal. I felt like Echo, if he played this slightly better, he could have gotten the Hecarim without dying. Nevertheless, we pick up the Echo here, and I believe we're pinging for Baron here. I believe we get the Baron shortly, and there it is. We do get the Baron here. We do get the Baron here, and notice where the enemy Blitzcrank is positioned. Echo is still dead, so I felt like this is a good fight, but I see that Ornn's Q or little mountain is in the way, so I can't really walk through that to prevent myself getting knocked up by him. So all we do here is just base, even though I felt like we definitely could have tried to hard engage on this one. Try to fight a 5v4 with Baron buff on our side. And this is a embarrassing fight by me. I get engaged on. I still have my flash, but I'm really greedy with my flash. I put everything down and I still die. I thought this was actually a pretty bad play by me, and maybe it would have extended the game a bit more. I've always said, like, when we're hit, I shouldn't be making mistakes like this. But I felt like the enemy was also slightly overextending in this part. We were able to get a really good engage on the Azir and the Zeri. Jhin is untouched here, so he's able to just clean up the Azir and the Zeri here. Kel still has her ult. And my team just gets a really clean 4-0 sweep. Might discount my death. And that's really about it. They just end the game without me. I honestly got carried. But, you know, the point of this video is not me dying. You know, it's not me making mistakes. The point of this video is definitely just to remind you guys how important trading can be and looking how cooldowns can definitely win you lanes. It might seem like a simple concept, but if you're able to master this simple concepts, you'll definitely win lane more and thus win more games. I hope you guys are able to pick something up from this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.